Hi, I'm Keith from Banshee, and I'm going to talk you through the Banshee Spitfire, which is our new 5-inch travel trail bike. It's not just your everyday trail bike, it's a bit more sort of low slung, slacker angles, made for more aggressive, more experienced riders who really want to challenge themselves by riding faster and hitting things harder and, you know, just have a bit more fun on the trail. One of the things that makes the Spitfire stand out is the fact it's got two travel settings. The first travel setting, which it's in currently, is in the low and slack setting. This makes the head angle quite slack and the bottom bracket down to about 13 inches. And then when you put it to the steeper setting, it changes the head angle from about 66 degrees to 67 degrees, depending on fork options, and raises the bottom bracket by ½ inch. This just means that you've got the option, if you're riding fast, flowy single track, you just keep it in the low and slack setting, and it really means you can carve the corners and makes the bike feel really planted. Whereas if you're riding more technical, tight stuff, you can steepen it up, shorten the wheelbase, give you that more accurate turning, and it gives you more pedal clearance as well, because this bike's pretty low. The head tube is a tapered head tube, which is 1.5 traditional bottom and a 1 1/8 zero stack top. This means you can switch around the headset bottom cups to be external or internal to match your fork. The fork options I really recommend are anything from 130 to 160mm forks. You can run, say, a Fox 36 in this, and ride more aggressively and find your local steep sections of trail and really go for it. Or you can put a smaller fork like this on and ride, sort of, lightens the bike up for those all-day epic rides. The bike works on the suspension works on a 4-bar linkage system, which we call the VF 4-bar, virtual floating 4-bar. This is optimally designed for trail riding. It's got an initial anti-squat, which helps really propel the bike forward. When you put the foot in the power with the stiffness of the frame and the anti-squat, the bike just moves. There's no frame flex and there's no wallowing around, it just goes. It also helps when you're climbing, it helps with the front wheel traction. It keeps your weight over the front of the bike, combined with the geometry, with the fairly steep seat angle. And so the front wheel wandering is not an issue, even with 160mm forks and a 66-degree head angle and steep technical climbs. The VF 4-bar linkage is designed so that this bike is a pretty stable bike. It's really designed for high-speed single track, where you're really pushing it. So it's got an initial rearward axle path, which helps you when you're hitting square edge bumps because it reacts better to them and maintains your speed more effectively. The linkage is run on bushings every pivot, which are greasable through grease ports on the non-drive side. Really simple job. The bushings last a long time, and if you have any issues with them, if they wear out, you just have to replace them quickly. It only takes $1 a bushing or something, I think it is. And it's a simple system that works really well. The bike's designed so that it's in the slack mode, it's fairly linear. It's got that sort of downhill bike feel. It sits into the travel a little bit more. Not like a downhill bike, but it's halfway there. And it means that you can really get traction when you're doing the high speed stuff. And when you put into the steeper setting, it's a bit more progressive. So that means that, when you're going over the rough, rocky stuff, you're not going to bottom out very regularly. It's got a nice sort of bottomless feel in that setting. And it just makes the bike almost feel like two bikes in one. So you can set it up at the start of the day knowing what trails you're going to ride, and then forget about it for the rest of the day and you've got the perfect bike. And the next day you can ride totally different trails, change your bike to sit, and you got kind of two bikes in one. Great fun bike, I love riding it, and yeah, you should try one out, test one out, the bike will do the talking.